Days of Our Lives spoilers for the next 2 weeks, October 6th to October 17th, hint that there'll be a new biodad theory, along with some doomed bedroom buddies and an exposed romantic secret. During the week of October 6 through 10, Jeremy Horton will offer Stephanie Johnson an apology for his abusive past tendencies, while Thomas DiMera rages over Chad DiMera's Cat Green deception. Later, Thomas will create a scene in front of Jack Devereaux, Jennifer Horton Devereaux, and Julie Williams, so they'll all find out that Cat is Chad's new girlfriend. Thomas will deliver a huge request, so he may push Chad to break up with Cat. Since Chad will deliver bad news to Cat later, their split could be in the works. Over with Chanel DiMera and Johnny DiMera, they'll have a strategy session and eventually turn to Rafe Hernandez for help. Days spoilers say Johnny will be determined to clear his name and try to get the adoption back on track. But that'll be easier said than done. As for Brady Black, he'll mull over a theory and give Sarah Horton Kyriakis updates on it. Brady won't believe Tesoro is Sophia and Tate Black's baby based on the DNA results, so he'll have to figure out another explanation. Will Sarah suspect Sophia deceived everyone about the baby's paternity from the get-go? Could Aaron Green or another Salemite be the father instead? Regardless, Sarah will corner Sophia alone later and push her to come clean, since the truth always comes out. Days spoilers say Sarah will realize something, so that could indeed involve this paternity twist. As for Holly Jonas, she'll force Ari Horton to keep a secret. Holly will make some trip preparations and decide she never wants to return to Salem, so perhaps she'll push Ari to keep Tate in the dark. However, Ari may end up blabbing after Tate goes on the hunt for the woman he loves. Maybe Tate will find out that Holly's leaving for Paris or another faraway destination and never plans to come home. Now that JJ Devereaux has been berated by Theo Carver, he'll have some serious doubts about his ability as a cop and will confide in Jada Hutner. Days spoilers suggest JJ may consider walking away from this career if Theo's complaints and accusations continue. The week of October 13th to 17 could bring Holly and Tate's romantic reunion if they can finally sort through all the confusion and lies Sophia set in motion. Regardless, Tate may pour his heart out to Holly once again. As for baby Tesoro, he'll finally be on screen for the next phase of all the dual baby drama. Could Sophia wind up snatching the kid once the walls close in? Over with Gabby Hernandez and Philip Kyriakis, they'll savor more time in bed together. Philip and Gabby will grow closer, but their connection could be ruined if he gets confirmation that she planted the bug in Xander Kyriakis' office. Finally, Sarah and Xander's couple therapy attempt could bring some scary moments. Xander is afraid to get that vulnerable, especially since he can't risk losing Sarah by coming clean about being Philip's attacker now. Days of Our Lives spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some massive surprises, so stay tuned. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that we've got some comings and goings news to pass along. Baby Tesoro has finally been cast, so Days fans will be eager to see him on screen at last. Plus, 2 major returns are on the way, and a big debut has been confirmed. For starters, let's talk about Michael Rourke, who recently made his first day's appearance as a Jeremy Horton recast. CDL speculated over the last few months that Rourke would be playing Jeremy, but now there's confirmation, since he indeed made his debut in the role. Julie Williams was thrilled to see Jeremy again, but the same couldn't be said for Stephanie Johnson when he arrived on her doorstep with a bouquet. Despite Jeremy's efforts to prove he's a changed man, Stephanie will remain wary of him in the coming weeks. On another note, we should discuss Jack Devereaux and Jennifer Horton Devereaux, since they're making a joint comeback starting October 9th. Look for Jennifer and Jack to be part of some explosive scenes at the Horton house involving a stunning revelation from Thomas DiMera. Thomas is on the verge of ratting Chad DiMera out for dating Cat Green, so Jack and Jennifer are sure to have some strong opinions about that. Both Thomas and Charlotte DiMera will be on screen during the week of October 6-10, while Felicity Green pops up for new scenes with Cat as well. Of course, Days viewers may have noticed a fun inclusion in the weekly promo that Duel released. It shows Leo Stark and Javi Hernandez interacting with a real baby instead of just talking to Tesoro off-screen in a stroller as usual. That brings us to some exciting cast additions, since Joseph E. Lenf and Jordan Purdue will officially begin playing Baby Tesoro on October 10th. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Tesoro will be a big part of some erupting drama, so we'll bring you updates on all the shocking plot developments ahead. Days of Our Lives spoilers hint that substitute teacher Jeremy Horton may save Thomas DiMera after Rachel Black makes a life-threatening move. Michael Rourke made his debut as a Jeremy Horton recast in the October 3rd episode, so Days fans got updates on Jeremy's new job. It turns out Jeremy is a certified teacher now and has been offered a long-term sub-gig. As luck would have it, Jeremy is teaching Thomas's class, which means he'll also be teaching Rachel. It previously seemed like Rachel and Thomas' pregnant teacher might be in danger, but now it appears she was just a convenient excuse from a writing standpoint. That pregnancy set the stage for Ms. Brody's maternity leave and opened the door for Jeremy to get this long-term sub-position. Days spoilers say there must be a good reason for that, so this may tie in with Rachel's upcoming meltdown. Rachel is dealing with a lot due to Kristen DiMera landing back behind bars and the buried trauma of shooting E.J. DiMera, which Rachel doesn't remember just yet. However, the memory floodgates could open soon, especially once Rachel causes another dangerous situation. Days spoilers say Rachel's issues will blow up in a big way, so she'll fly into a rage and create a life-threatening ordeal of some sort. Dual writers have been focusing on the fact that Thomas and Rachel are in the same class this year, a class that Jeremy is now in charge of. Jeremy is obviously going to play a big role in whatever comes next. Rachel and Thomas's friendship has also taken a turn into something more hostile, particularly since Rachel exposed Kat Green as Chad DiMera's girlfriend and Abigail DiMera's impersonator. Will Rachel fight with Thomas at school and accidentally put his life on the line somehow? Could Jeremy leap into action and save Thomas before it's too late? Jeremy is supposedly on a better path, so this could give him a heroic moment and help to balance out his horrible history. If Rachel's actions trigger her memory of shooting EJ, Jeremy might help her navigate that too. Days of Our Lives spoilers suggest Jeremy, Rachel, and Thomas will all get tangled up in a storyline together, so stay tuned for any alarming news to come. Days of Our Lives spoilers are in for the week of October 6, 2025. Fans can expect J.J. Devereaux to be troubled. Holly Jonas swears Ari Horton to secrecy. Plus, Leo Stark and Javi Hernandez worry about Tesoro'S fate. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start off with JJ, who will be in some turmoil and facing a moral dilemma. The detective had no idea that Theo Carver was still so angry and traumatized by the shooting incident. Although it has been years, one thing triggered Theo's trauma to resurface. That thing is JJ becoming a cop and holding a gun again. In JJ's defense, Theo didn't turn around when ordered to. This includes their recent interaction during curfew, as well as the shooting incident from years ago. It doesn't make it right, but it's not like JJ is evil either. JJ also spent several years away from the police force, so I think that should count for something. At the same time, maybe it's not wise for Theo and JJ to be living in the same town considering their history. So, JJ might be thinking if he should continue being a cop or not. The detective might even consider leaving town, although he got there first. Then we have Holly, who has some kind of secret. The young woman already thinks her body can't handle small amounts of alcohol. However, fans know that Sophia Choi spiked Holly's drinks, which led to the fire at Salem University. Now, Holly and Ari have been kicked out of their dorm. In addition, they have to face a college disciplinary meeting. I personally never went to college, so does this mean a possible expulsion? In any case, Holly tells Ari a secret and swears her to secrecy. Could this be that she regrets pushing Tate Black away? And on Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for the week of October 6th reveal that Sophia manages to trick Tate mid-week. Then, the very next day, Tate goes looking for Holly. That sounds like Sophia kisses Tate and makes sure Holly sees. Holly would get the completely wrong idea, but it could also lead her to get drunk again. This time, the consequences could be life-changing. Fans will also see Brady Black share a clue with Johnny DiMera and Chanel Dupree DiMera. Later, Janelle gets some help from Rafe Hernandez. Brady also shares a theory with Sarah Horton Caracas. Julie Williams Jennifer Horton Devereaux and Jack Devereaux take a walk down memory lane. Chad DiMera breaks the truth to Kat Green. It sounds like they will break up due to Thomas DiMera's request. Days of Our Lives spoilers are in for the week of October 6th, 2025. Fans can expect JJ Devereaux to face a moral dilemma. Holly Jonas shares a secret with Ari Horton. Plus, Javi Hernandez and Leo Stark worry about Tesoro'S future. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start off with JJ, who shot Theo Carver many years ago. Theo would be paralyzed now if it hadn't been for the revolutionary treatment in South Africa. After the shooting, JJ's guilt was so overbearing that he nearly took his own life. It was actually Gabby Hernandez who literally saved JJ's life that Christmas Eve. Afterward, it seemed that Theo and Abe Carver had forgiven JJ. It was explained that everyone was okay until Theo heard that JJ was a cop again. So, it sounds like JJ might face a decision whether to quit his job or not. JJ might question if Theo is right on some level. At the same time, Theo didn't turn around when ordered to on both occasions. JJ had no clue that it was Theo, and not a dangerous criminal. Then, we have Holly, who faces some kind of crisis. After Sophia Choi secretly spiked Holly's drinks, a fire broke out in the dorm room. Holly thinks it's all her fault, and has no clue that Sophia was responsible. Holly pushed Tate Black away, so by midweek, Sophia manages to trick him. However, Holly must have regrets, and then find them together. Then, Holly tells Ari something and swears her to keep quiet. Later, Tate goes looking for Holly. Then, on Friday, Ari shares some news with Tate. Fans will also see Brady Black share a clue during the week of October 6th, 25. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Brady shares some intel with Johnny DiMera and Chanel Dupree DiMera. Later, Johnny and Chanel get an assist from Rafe Hernandez. Brady also tells Sarah Horton Caracas about his new theory. Julie Williams, Dosi, Jennifer Horton Devereaux, and Jack Devereaux will also think about the past 40 years in Salem. Chad DiMera drops a bombshell on Kat Green. It sounds like Chad will honor his son's breakup request. Plus, Javi and Leo fret about Tesoro. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Monday, October 6th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what happens next. Lines are drawn in the battle for DiMera and Titan, and a surprise guest is welcomed coldly, according to the Days of Our Lives spoilers. Plus, things erupt when Thomas lets the cat out of the bag, and Sarah suddenly figures out Sophia's bombshell baby secret. Here's your dual video preview for the week of October 6-10, 2025. The battle for DiMera and Titan continues to take center stage as Xander, Tesoro'S, and Maggie meet with Tony about the fate of their companies. DiMera will be returned to my family, proclaims Tony. Xander appears to be fine with that under the circumstances. It's all yours, he announces. He then adds with a sneer, but Titan stays with us. Will Tony be amenable to that compromise? Stephanie isn't exactly happy to find out that her abusive ex, Jeremy E., is back in Salem, nor that he's turned up on her doorstep. What are you doing here? She asks him. It appears that he's hoping for a second chance of sorts. I was in a bad place, explains Jeremy. That's not who I am anymore. There's really no good way for Jack, Jennifer, Nate, or Julie to find out who the new woman in Chad's life is, considering they all loathe her. But young Thomas blurting it out is the absolute worst way possible. I'll tell you what's going on, announces Thomas. Dad's dating Kat Green. Meanwhile, Holly is beyond distraught, believing her future with Tate is over. Everything's ruined, she cries out upon spying Tate having a tender moment with Sophia inside the Brady pub. You never want to come back to Salem, she tells herself. Little does Holly know that everything could change on a dime. The DNA samples didn't match, affirms Sarah, after Brady tells her about the results of the tests he had run on Tesoro. No, confirms Brady. So that means the baby from the firehouse is definitely not Tate and Sophia's. Well, it's definitely not Tate's baby. Could Sarah be the one to actually put two and two together? Later, Sarah confronts Sophia and tells her, "The truth always comes out in the end." Will Sophia take Sarah's words to heart? Days of Our Lives spoilers photos for October 6th, 2025 tease an unexpected encounter and a plan against a plotter. While Stephanie comes face-to-face with someone from her past, Days of Our Lives spoilers for October 6th reveal Rafe and Kat come up with a plan to take down EJ. Jeremy arrives at Stephanie's door. Kat and Rafe make a plan. Kat runs into Felicity. Theo's return on Days of Our Lives has been filled with surprises and unexpected moments. There's no question that Theo isn't himself, and it's not just because there's a different actor in the role. From the second Theo arrived back in Salem, something was off. Theo's whole demeanor and attitude have changed, making him a bit darker. The moment when Theo told Abe and Paulina about his high school bully showed a side of the character fans haven't seen. In fact, it made Soap Hub's best moment of the week because of Theo's behavior. On top of that, there is his newly vested interest in being part of Demera. Tony clearly brought Theo back for a reason, and it involves him channeling the Demera side of his family. Honestly, it will be fun to watch Theo embrace being a Demera and join the family business. Abe and Paulina would definitely have thoughts on him going that route. Theo's return also has him facing off with JJ. Even though they had moved past the shooting, the two even went into business together in Africa. However, JJ being a cop again has triggered Theo badly, which is understandable after the shooting. It's also clear that Theo has PTSD from the shooting that was never addressed or dealt with, and that makes sense. Duol is gearing up to revisit the fallout from JJ shooting Theo all these years later. That is definitely part of the reason for the shift in Theo, but something tells us there's a whole lot more to this story, and it just might have to do with his breakup with Claire. What are your thoughts on Theo? Sound off in the comments section below. An anniversary, a future, and a potential trip. Here are the moments to watch this week on Days of Our Lives. On Thursday, Jennifer will celebrate her 40th anniversary in Salem. She'll return with Jack and reminisce with Julie. But we all know that's not all she'll be doing. She wants her former son-in-law far away from the woman who pretended to be her deceased daughter, and she has no idea that the two are already about to end things thanks to Rachel's big mouth. Meanwhile, the person Jennifer should be worried about is her actual son, JJ. Since Theo's return to Salem, JJ's past rookie mistake has been trudged up. Theo went as far as to tell Jada about what happened, and it's all left JJ to contemplate his future. After talking to Jada on Tuesday, things still aren't any better by Thursday, leaving him troubled. After her drunken night left her in the hospital and charred hers and Ari's dorm, Holly is feeling lost. She officially ended things with Tate, and she has no idea that Sophia is behind everything that happened. By Friday, she's ready to put it all behind her and take a trip. The location, however, remains to be determined. Could it be back to Paris to see her mom and brother, or maybe somewhere else abroad? Here are your Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, October 6th, 2025. Stephanie would rather forget about that time in her life when she dated a man who held her head underwater in a hot tub and didn't see what the big deal was. Yes, she put a sexual encounter with that man in her book, but now she wishes she hadn't. To make matters worse, that man is now at her front door with flowers, not long after she told Alex all about him. Alex is already on the full warpath, and now that man is standing in his living room. Stephanie makes it clear to Jeremy that she doesn't want to see him, but Jeremy swears he is a changed man and would never do the things he did to Stephanie ever again. He is even an elementary school teacher now, with a brand new outlook on life. Will Jeremy manage to convince Stephanie that she has nothing to fear? He is not going to hurt her and doesn't even want to disrupt her life. Also, will Alex return home and make Jeremy's life a living hell? Kat and Chad are finally officially together, but that does not mean it will be smooth sailing from here on out. No, quite the contrary. First, Kat is keeping a massive secret from Chad, something she had vowed never to do again. She is an ISA agent investigating his brother and can't let Chad ever know. To that end, Kat and Rafe formulate a plan to stop EJ in his tracks. They are going to use his new free clinic to do so, as they know there is more going on with that than meets the eye. Meanwhile, Thomas demands answers from Chad about his relationship with Kat. Thomas had no issue with Chad dating Stephanie and living with her, but there is something about Kat that does not sit right with him. Will Chad be able to convince his son that Kat makes him happy and that's all that counts? Probably not, if Jennifer has any say in the matter. The action in this Days of Our Lives spoilers video preview for the week of October 6th begins as Tony makes an announcement. Demera will be returned to my family, he tells the assorted members of the Kyriakis clan, Xander, Kiki, Philip, and Maggie. It's all yours, but Titan stays with us, Xander firmly tells the older man. Jeremy Horton shows up at the door of Stephanie's apartment, and she's not happy to see her ex. What are you doing here? She asks him. He ends up in her apartment that she shares with her current boyfriend, Alex, trying to explain himself. I was in a bad place. That's not who I am anymore, he tells her. Also arriving back in town are Jack and Jennifer, but they get a warm welcome from Julie. Someone who doesn't get a warm welcome is Chad, courtesy of his son Thomas. I'll tell you what's going on. Dad's dating Kat Green, he yells, much to Chad's embarrassment and Jennifer's horror. Holly is back home at the Kyriakis mansion in tears. She lets Grandma Maggie draw her into a comforting hug as she cries. Everything's ruined, Holly declares. As Holly can be heard saying, I never want to come back to Salem, she is seen spying through the window at the Brady pub as Tate gently caresses Sophia's hair. The scene switches to a shocked Sophia as Sarah can be heard asking Brady, the DNA samples didn't match? Brady answers, no. So that baby from the firehouse, it's definitely not Tate and Sophia's. As images of Leo and Javi are seen playing at the Hernandez home with little T, Sarah is urging a teary Sophia to confess. The truth, it always comes out in the end, warns Sarah. Who would know, as many of her own secrets have ended up being revealed at the worst possible moments. Will Sophia take her advice and come clean? See it all for yourself in the preview video below. Let us know what you think is going to happen in the comments section, and be sure to check out our spoilers gallery for a sneak peek at what's happening on all the soaps this week, including Days.